What's up, guys? Here we go. It is today, the 19th, and we have Emmanuel Pacquiao versus Adrien Broner for the whatever belt out of too many belts there are in this division, in the 147 division. Either way, they're both former champions, one being the only 8-time division champion, and one being the youngest 4-time four different division champion. And those are two great resumes coming for us to see. And hopefully it comes through. We have a man that's 40 years old, but he's a legend and a Hall of Famer. And then we have another man who's 29 years old. And he's in his prime. He's hungry. He wants redemption. And he has talent. And he has a lot of potential. But the question is, does he have the amount of punches he needs to keep Manny Pacquiao at bay? That's the real question for this fight for me, and for probably most boxing fans around the world. From what I've seen, other people's opinions and everything, it's really whether Broner is going to step it up and throw more punches. Will he overcome his sit and wait mentality, what Mayweather wannabe mentality, I like to say, because he, in some spots, he really wants to fight like Mayweather, but he just doesn't have the hand-eye, the coordination and the quickness Mayweather had for his defense. He just doesn't have it. He has the hand speed, he has the power, and he has good technique when he throws it. But when he sits and waits and he waits for counter punches, he's not as slick as Mayweather, even though he wants to think he is. And hopefully he overcomes that for this fight, and it'll be a great fight. And now moving on to Manny. Age 40. I know that's oversaid over and over, but you can't over talk about age, because that really is the factor for him. Because in my opinion, Level A Pacquiao definitely beats Broner. Level B Pacquiao definitely beats Broner. Level C Pacquiao, in my opinion, beats Broner. And even a C minus, which I believe he might be in his career now, I still believe he can give Broner a good fight and he can beat Broner. But a diminished Pacquiao, a Pacquiao that just doesn't have any more, loses. And that's for any fighter. And I don't want to take anything away if Broner wins this fight. But we do have to realize the facts that the man is 40 years old and he is past his prime. But we have a great example in a similar weight class, a little bit higher, but not too much higher to where it's like heavyweight, in Bernard Hopkins. Whereas he had a great career, and then at 40, people thought, maybe he needs to stop. But he kept going, and he kept fighting at a high level till he was like 48 or 49. A lot of people don't like to talk about that, but I mean, that wasn't too long ago. And that man was killing it, and he was over 40. So, you really never know. Every fighter is different. You can't compare fighters. You can make a generalization, but when you have world-class fighters, legends like Manny Pacquiao, Bernard Hopkins, and I know there's more examples. I know them, but I can't say their names, that can fight at an older age, even if they're not a heavyweight. Not every fighter is the same. Even if they've been in wars. If you watch some of Bernard Hopkins' fights, he was in some wars, and he still kept going. But, in my opinion, stylistically, this reminds me a whole lot, like Joshua Clottey versus Manny Pacquiao, where you have a man who's on the defensive and he's not throwing much punches, has a good chin, and always keeps his guard up, and he has power. It reminds me so much of Joshua Clottey. A lot of people aren't saying that, but I really see the results of being like Joshua Clottey versus Pacquiao. Even though that was when Pacquiao was in his prime, I still think that it's gonna look similar in my opinion. That's just what I predict. But you really can't make predictions in boxing. You can make assumptions, you can make this, you can make that, but no one is ever really 100% right. You got to be a genius or something, and I'm definitely not one. But we'll see. Manny Pacquiao versus. Oh yeah, and I forgot to mention. I'm glad that Freddie Roach is back reunited with Manny Pacquiao. I was thinking, that's great for that legendary relationship to come back. But Boy Fernandez is still like the main trainer. But in reality, we all know Freddie Roach is the mastermind behind it. But we will see. I think both fighters are determined, and I don't think there's any excuses on the line. Whoever wins, wins. Whether it's because of age, whether it's because of Adrien Broner's focus, you know what? No excuses. Fight, and that's it. January 19th is going down, Showtime, pay-per-view, and I hope it's gonna come through. Uh, my prediction, a good fight, because we all know Pacquiao, even if he might be old, he still is gonna give an entertaining fight. Um, and I almost forgot to bring up. They do have a fighter that they both fought. I think they fought multiple. No, the only one I know of though is Jesse Vargas. And in my opinion, I didn't really watch the Jesse Vargas fight, but from what I saw, I thought Jesse Vargas was outworking him, and I thought that maybe he might have edged out on the points at the end of the fight. And if you watch the Pacquiao versus Vargas fight, I know they fight different stylistically, but Manny Pacquiao completely dominated Jesse Vargas. Just to let you guys know, because that's always a good thing to compare similar uh, opponents. Even though they have different styles, it's still good to compare because they both fought the same dude. And I almost forgot about, talk about both of their last performances. Of course, Adrien Broner, last performance was against Jesse Vargas. Uh, from an A to F standpoint, I'll give Adrien Broner a B minus on performance because of just the lack of a better start early. And for Manny Pacquiao, his last fight against Matisse, I gave him, uh, you know, probably the same, a B minus. So basically, I give both of their last performances, a B minus. Simply, Manny Pacquiao gets a B minus because Lucas Matisse wasn't looking very good his last fights. He did win that belt, but it wasn't against top tier. You know, he was a good fighter, but like he just wasn't quite up there like Adrien Broner or Jesse Vargas or Pacquiao or those guys. He's a little bit below. I forgot who he beat to get the belt, but he got. I believe Matisse got knocked out and all that before he fought Pacquiao. So it's just you can't really go off of that by much. But Pacquiao still looked really good. So I give them both a B minus from their last performances. And you know what? Coming up, I think they're both gonna give us A plus performance on both sides, because I think both are completely determined. And for Pacquiao, this is his real gauge. This is his meter, his time meter, on whether he needs to keep boxing, hang it up. And for both of them, same thing for Broner. This is really his gauge, whether he's gonna fight a pay-per-view like he's always dreamed, or whether he's just gonna be about bum, That's his rank. He's about a bum. But we'll see. Is he about billions? Is he about boxing? Is he about a bomb? What is he? That's what's gonna tell on this fight. And for Pacquiao is whether he can still fight, whether he can still compete at high level, and whether he can still be the man that everyone remembers him to be. You know, maybe not be quite that, but just be a something like that. You know, and boxing needs superstars, and he's definitely one. Living legend Manny Pacquiao, and about billions Adrien Broner. We'll see coming up today, and peace and love.